I'll make buses fast and free.
So I can just get where I'm going.
I'll make childcare available to all New Yorkers at no cost.
I want to raise my kid in New York.
And I'll freeze the rent for every single rent-stabilized tenant.
These Eric Adams rent hikes are killing us.
Fundraising. But why are we fundraising? Well, we have less than 50 days until we take office, and we have a lot to do. It's up to us to raise the money. You've already been incredible. We've raised more than $1 million in just 2 weeks. Our average donation is around $77, and more than 12,000 of you have donated so far. But we're still asking for your help because we need to raise $4 million in total. I hope very soon not to have to ask you for money. But until then, I'm asking.
Newsmax claims that you made $7 million from stock trades. What are they talking about?
Newsmax is, first of all, a very questionable organization.
Well, did you make $7 million in stock trades at all? Or?
I haven't. I don't believe I did, but I'd have to go see what that was alluding to.
I believe that parents have the right to oversee their children's education. I would push in LGBTQ education into our schools. Parents have a right to opt out of a lot of things, but this is not an area where they should be opting out, because this is an area of understanding the background of people throughout our nation. And
all right, folks, I want you to bear with me on this intro. It's about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We're halfway there, so just bear with me on this intro, because I want you guys to see an ongoing theme here. And I'll explain it to you once we get done with the intro, and then I'm going to show you another video, a couple more videos of another politician doing what she does. But with that said, let's continue on it, and then I'll explain everything after the intro, all right?
In 2024, you say you're not going to raise taxes, but you have talked about perhaps other ways of raising money, including property taxes.
Well, so I'm not going to raise property taxes.
This is tough. It is. It is something that I grappled with for weeks and weeks. But I did have to make the choice to increase our property taxes.
Here in the largest state in our union, in the state of California, we are positioned with this budget to be able to deliver on what we've been promoting: universal health care for all, regardless of pre-existing condition, regardless of the ability to pay, and regardless of your immigration status. We believe in this principle. We believe in the right to quality health care. We believe that people should have some skin in the game as it relates to contributions. So we are looking to a monthly premium. No state in the country has done more for the Latino community in terms of expanding programs. No state will continue to do more. We're not cutting anybody off from basic services, but we are asking for something we ask all taxpayers of California.
All right, folks. So I hope that you guys know it's an ongoing theme there, right? Okay. It's, aside for Mickey Sherrill, who is now the governor of New Jersey, the video I showed you of her is just her like not being able to answer questions and then showing the progressive agenda that she wants to push on our schools, right? But the other three individuals, the theme there is that they go into the system, as politicians, promising certain things. Let's start off with Zohran Mamdani, right? This guy came in here promising free grocery stores, which pretty much are state-owned stores, right? Free buses, free childcare for everybody, and then rent control, right? So now he's sitting here after he already got elected and asking his constituents for money. Now, how is it that you go into politics and you're running for an office with all these promises, right? And then when you get in, you have to ask your constituents for more money that they've already given you money just to get you in office, and now you're asking for more money. It's crazy. And then just the way things have been looking lately in New York, it doesn't look good. This last snowstorm that they had, they probably still got trash piled up in the streets. Mickey Sherrill, when questioned in reference to her stock exchange movements, this guy asked her specifically, did you make $8 million? Or what about this report that says you made $8 million? The pause, did you see the pause? It's deafening, right? She couldn't, it's like she was saying in her head, why is he asking me this, right? And then when pushed even more on it, she goes, oh, well, I don't know. I'd have to look at it. You know, but the other theme here is that people, for some reason, are putting these people in office and thinking that they have good ideas. You know what I'm saying? This lady, that's the first issue. Then that second interview I showed you, she wants to push LGBT curriculum into schools, into children, and teach children about the LGBT community. That's not necessary. And then she says, yeah, it's the parents' rights to choose, but for this one, no. Well, then you might as well just take the parents' rights away completely. It doesn't make sense. Then you got Brandon Johnson out in New York. In Connecticut, just tearing Chicago up financially. But he won't budge. He's hard-headed. He's a progressive who believes what he believes, even though the Chicagoans are fighting him. All right? He ran on not raising taxes, right? In 2023, he ran on not raising taxes. You saw it in the video. The guy asked him, well, what are you going to do? Well, I'm not going to raise property taxes. Yeah? And then the very next video, 2 years later, he's talking about, well, this was hard, but I had to raise your taxes. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the theme, folks. And I guarantee you there will still be, because this is his first term, but I guarantee you there will still be people in Chicago that will vote for this if he runs again. It blows my mind, just like New Jersey. New Jersey had Phil Murphy for 2 terms. He was one of the worst governors we could have had. 2 terms these people voted him in. And now you got a progressive Mickey Sherrill talking about LGBT curriculum and other stuff too. You know? Then you got California, Gavin Newsom. What did he do? He goes in there and change. He's on 2 terms too. This is his last term. But how is it that people voted for this guy for 2 terms? He's destroyed California. Gave illegal immigrants free health care, right? As you can see in the video, he made that decision to give them free health care. Then what happens in 2025? He's walking it back because he realized it was a bad idea and we need to get our books in line and we need to get back on track. So now he's saying, oh, well, I think, people should have skin in the game and, they should have at least pay $100. I think that's what it said, $100 a month or something like that for the illegals to have health care, which is nothing, folks, not a damn thing. There's people out here, citizens, U.S. citizens paying $2,000 a month for medical insurance. And he's talking about $100 payment, $100 a month for these illegals. It's unbelievable. And that's what kills me about people that vote for people like this. And they continue to vote for this progressive movement. The progressive movement does not work, folks. You could say all you want about how we got to change things. We got to change. We got to do this. We got to do that. And then you vote in these progressives who kill these economies in these cities and these states. Fortunately for New York, which I don't like Hochul, but fortunately for New York, she said, hey, we're not raising taxes in New York. At least some kind of common sense. You understand what I'm saying? So with that said, I'm going to show you the last 2 videos, which is of an individual by the name of Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. All right. And I'm going to show you how once again she humiliates herself on the world stage. But guess what, folks? This is the person that people will continue to vote for. And people are actually serious about her possibly running for president. But I'm going to take you back to 2018. I'm going to take you back on a journey, folks. One of her first interviews on TV, where she embarrassed herself on national TV. And you guys, I'm sure you remember it, but take a look at it.
But I am, of course, the dynamic there in terms of geopolitics and the war in the Middle East is very different than people expressing their First Amendment right to protest.
Well, yes, but I also think that what people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine, is just an increasing crisis of humanitarian condition. And that to me is just where I tend to come from on this issue.
You use the term the occupation of Palestine. What did you mean by that?
I think what I meant is like the settlements that are increasing in some of these areas and places where or Palestinians are experiencing difficulty in access to their housing and homes.
Do you think you can expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd also just, I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue.
Folks, that was 2018. Pay attention, folks. That was 2018, and we're in 2026, and she's still embarrassing herself. I don't know if you guys remember that interview, but this chick, I don't understand who or how. It's New Yorkers. It's New Yorkers, folks. New Yorkers are the ones that like Zohran Mamdani, that liked freaking what's the idiot Adams, that liked who was it before him, the tall guy, the tall white guy, I can't remember his name, but anyways, these are the people that they liked. The Cuomos, the Hochul's, these are New Yorkers. This is what they like. I don't know. They must love punishment. You know what I'm saying? But then they vote this chick in office in New York. She was a bartender before. They vote her in. And look, she can't even... 2018, folks. And I'm going to show you the new video, which just happened last week, of her embarrassing herself on the world stage again.
Should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
You know, I think that this is such a... you know, I think that this is a...
She has no clue, man. Oh, my goodness.
This is, of course, a very long-standing policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point. And we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
I can only imagine what that interviewer and everybody in the audience was thinking as she is trying to process the answer that she needs to give intellectually, which never came, by the way, folks. It never came. Listen to me. Stop voting for these people, folks. Stop acting like this individual is a serious candidate for president. It's ridiculous. And I hope that she doesn't run because I can see people voting for her. It would be a disaster for the United States if this individual became the president of the United States. I don't care if she's female or not. She is not an intelligent person. I'll give it to her. She's intelligent enough to make it to where she's at now. But she's not a bright individual when it comes to politics, when it comes to policies. As you can see in the first video, I'm not an expert in geopolitics, and she probably still isn't after 7 years, 8 years. Does that make sense, folks? Just please, I'm begging you, stop voting these people in. Stop voting the Zohran Mamdanis in. Stop voting the Mickey Sherrills in. Stop voting the Brandon Johnsons, the Gavin Newsoms. California, you got to change, man. You got to go back to a red state, folks. They're killing you guys out there. Gas is like $6-something a gallon. How do you guys survive? I don't get it, but it's because you guys hire these people that are against policies that will help you economically. I hope that makes sense, folks. You know, and with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video in addition.